Hello, everybody. We have a couple of letters to do today, and good news, we only have 2 letters, and then you get to do a little review, which will be great. So, we're really getting close to finishing our letters that begin with an undercurve, and then we'll move on to another stroke after that. So, we'll kind of talk about, we'll review a little bit, and then we'll go into more of some different strokes of how letters start. Can't talk tonight. So we're going to look at the letter J today. I'm going to zoom in a bit. Let's see. Okay, and then we're going to focus. Oh, yes, focus, focus. Hocus pocus focus. Here we go. So the letter J is a little bit different because it's going to start with an undercurve, but it's going to end with an overcurve. Remember we talked about those curves? Everybody do an undercurve in the air. Undercurve. Now do an overcurve. Overcurve. Okay. So here's that undercurve where I start. So I'm going to do the beginning. I'm going to undercurve to the beginning, to that dot line. Okay. And then I'm going to, very similar to what we did with the P. Remember how with the P, not with the P, with the F, remember how we went straight diagonally down until we touch this right here? That's what we're going to do here. But like an F, we had a loop with the F, but we don't have that here. But we're going to go down. It's going to be like a straightish line, but it's still going to be diagonally. Okay. And then we're going to, instead of coming forward and making the belly like we do for an F, we're going to come around the back, and then we're going to overcurve to finish. So we're going to come down, loop backwards, overcurve to finish. So it's kind of like a little, imagine like a little fountain of water coming out. Okay. And then we'll dot our J. So let me show you a couple down here. So we always start at that pink line. Remember, I really want y'all to work on starting at the pink line because some of you are like starting like up here and it's just messing you up. So we're going to start here at the pink line. We're going to undercurve, down, loop backwards, overcurve to finish. Undercurve, down, loop backwards, undercurve to finish. Okay. And overcurve to finish. I'm so used to saying undercurve to finish. So that overcurve at the end is going to be the beginning of the next letter. So it goes over and then it becomes an undercurve for that next letter if that's what it starts with. For example, with J-E, we're going to undercurve and we come down, we loop backwards, and then normally I would go from here and I would overcurve, but because it's an E next, I'm going to have to change to an undercurve. So look, it goes like this here, and then it goes like this. It's kind of like an upside down sideways question mark. Okay. So it's going to come here, loop, and then it becomes an undercurve like this. Okay. So looking right here, let me turn this just a touch. There we go. We're going to overcurve, and then it turns into an undercurve once I cross that pink line, and then I can just do my E like normal, and undercurve to finish. Dot your J. Same thing with I's. I'm going to do my undercurve, down, do my backwards loop, and then as soon as I cross the pink, I'm going to turn it into an undercurve, overlap, undercurve, like that. What I don't want to see, especially with your I's and your U's, remember we talked about not doing, let me find a good place to put it, right? We talked about not doing this, right? We talked about not doing this. We don't want it to be separate like that. That's too far apart. You see how mine overlaps right here? That's what you want. So when we come here and we overcurve, changing to undercurve, we come back this way, and then we undercurve to finish. Okay. Same thing for the U. What we don't want to do, so don't do that. You don't need to write these. This is just for me to show you the right and wrong way. Okay. So if I want to do JU, I'm going to undercurve, down, loop. What I don't want to do is that. Those did not overlap here and here, and we have to have them overlap. Okay. So it should come like this. Here, down, loop, undercurve, back, down, undercurve, back, down, and then undercurve to finish. Do you see how I have the overlap in both of those lines? How I went here and I went back over my line, and I went back over my line and then did the undercurve? That's what you want to do. Okay. So that's the letter J. Let's look at P. P starts out exactly the same way the J starts out, but it has a little belly. We'll call it a belly. Has a belly after we start to overcurve. So same way, we're going to start with the undercurve. We're going to come down and touch, loop backwards, and then our overcurve is just going to keep coming around until we hit this. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Let me just do that right again. Hold on. So we're going to undercurve, come down and loop, okay? And then once we cross here, we're going to overcurve and then keep coming around to form the belly, and then go back over that line and undercurve to finish. Let me show you that one again because that one's a little tricky, okay? So we're going to undercurve, come down, loop, overcurve around, touch it. You see this little point where it touches? This is the little intersection right here where that darker dot is. And then you come back over that line and undercurve to finish. And then that undercurve becomes the beginning of the next letters, just like we've talked about before. Okay, so you get to practice how it joins to I, E, L, R, H. And then if there's an S before it. Okay, let me do one more for you. Undercurve, come down the loop, overcurve, make a little belly on that pink line. As soon as you touch right there, then you can come back and undercurve to finish. Okay, take your time. Be all Mona Lisa about it. Okay, here's what I'd like you to do here. If you have a marker, I would like for you to trace over these words with your marker and just practice the strokes the way that you see them. And then underneath, you need to write each word again with your pencil, please. Okay? All right. Well done, guys. Have a lovely evening. I'll see you tomorrow.